Ah, siguro mas kay Congressman Joel Chua po ito kasi ang haba po nung explanation ng defense team on why the Senate Impeachment Court should not take judicial notice of the 19th Congress House Good Government Panel inquiry on the budget use of the Office of the Vice President and the DepEd. How do you respond lang po dun sa repeated questions nila on the legality and seemingly the existence of the inquiry? Kasi ayaw nilang mag-take yung Senate Court ng judicial notice na
Well, again,
nangyari ngayon.
well, again, sinasabi nila kasi kanina na hindi daw na-cross yung mga testigo. At again, yung kanilang mga sinasabing fishing expedition, mini trial, pending pa sa Supreme Court na issues. Pero nilinaw naman ng ating butihing presiding officer na number one, hindi naman ibig sabihin nun ay tinatanggap na yung laman. Ang sinasabi lang ng ating presiding officer as to the existence ng video, yun lang yung patutunayan, number one. At number two, ang isa pa sa sinasabi ng ating presiding officer, yung regularity na perform. So yun lang. But as to the substance of the hearing, hindi pa. Dahil yun nga, subject pa sa presentation at saka cross-subject to cross-examination.
Sir, follow up. So you don't take offense, sir, na parang ayaw nilang i-recognize yung inquiry na nangyari? And the findings also?
No, hindi naman dahil yun naman karapatan din naman nila. So talaga namang kami naman siyempre gusto lamang namin para mapabilis, 'di ba? Yung proseso para hindi na step by step total talaga naman nangyari. But at the end of the day, sabi naman ng ating presiding officer, tatanggapin yung ebidensya but only as to the existence ng video, number one, at saka yung presumption ng regularity.
Dagdag lang, we take exception to the remarks of the defense labeling and describing the COJ hearing in the House of Representatives as mini trial. No? We take exception to that because number one, alam naman po natin from the very start that the committee confirmation hearing of the Committee on Justice is actually a performance of the constitutional duty that was granted to the House of Representatives. Ang problema po is the Committee on Justice had extended a leeway for the respondent in this case, kay Vice President Sara Duterte, and to her team to be able to attend and then have the opportunity to cross-examine or examine those resource persons that we invited during the confirmation hearing. Unfortunately, they have consistently failed to attend in the confirmation hearings. That would have been a perfect opportunity for them to cross or at least provide evidence or counter evidence or testimonies, or they can cross also the resource persons that attended during the hearings. It cannot be labeled as such simply because they think na ayaw nilang bigyan pansin or ayaw nilang pansinin or ayaw nilang ilagay sa kanilang consciousness yung karapatan at saka yung jurisdiction ng House of Representatives ng magpatuloy na ganitong magpatuloy para doon sa mga impeachment complaints na inaisubmit po at nai-refer po sa committee ng Committee on Justice. So hindi po para sa amin that would be a mislabeling of the fact that the House of Representatives did actually perform its constitutional duty that led to the stage of the Senate sitting as an impeachment court.
Well, dadagdagan ko lang no na sinasabi rin pala kasi nila noon yung investigation is akin to criminal prosecution. Alam po ninyo nung 19 Congress nung kinandak po ito sa committee ko, Committee on Good Government, ang purpose po noon is in aid of legislation. And because of that, we were able to come up with House bill, no? Dahil nakita na natin yung nagiging problema. So, naging produkto nito ng investigation na to yung mga proposed House bill. Kaya wala pong katotohanan na ito ay parang criminal prosecution. Doon naman sa Committee on Justice, that is part of the process sa impeachment. Dahil maliwanag sa ating saligang batas na ang Congress ang may exclusive na mag-i-initiate ng impeachment proceeding. And part dito ay pagre-refer sa Committee on Justice. At yun naman po yung talagang nangyari na proseso. So nasunod lamang yung proseso, step-by-step process sa impeachment proceedings.
Last na lang po on my end kay Attorney Kapunan, hindi niyo po ba nakikitang parang delaying tactic yung nangyari kanina on the part of the defense given that they refuse to have the markings even based on their evidence, yung copy nila ng acknowledgement receipts? I understand. Can you correct na lang po kung if mali yung aking pagkaintindi? Thank you.
Well, first of all, tama naman yung sinabi ng presiding officer Cheese, no, na it is the right, karapatan ng defense, whether to accept stipulation or not, no. Pero ang nangyari dyan, ang hindi na stipulate nila ay 4,492 documents, no, na meron rin silang kopya nun. Kasi yun ang sinubmit nila. Yung mga ano ba yung acknowledgement receipt? Acknowledgement receipt ang nagpapatunay na merong ginastos na pera sa confidential funds. Nakalagay doon sino yung payee, sino yung tumanggap ng pera, magkano yung pera, at saka para saan, saka yung date, signature. Ebidensya nila yun eh. Bakit ayaw nilang pakita? Oo. Plus, sa pre-trial, every document na yan, lahat ng mga acknowledgement receipts, 3 ang pumirmang signature, yung clerk of court, kami sa prosecution, tsaka yung defense. So makikita nyo naman na nakita na nila yun. There is no surprise. These are their documents. But anyway, ang sabi ng defense, hindi naman pareho lahat eh. Well, that is why, kung ganong kadaming documents, talagang aabutin tayo ng Christmas, no? Kanya na lang, magandang ruling ng presiding officer, Cheese, na do it out of court. So, Thursday and Friday, in-schedule yung pag-examine. Nakita niyo naman kanina, no? Sa pag-examine lang ng 845 documents, halos 1 oras na, no? Or almost 1 hour. What more kung 4,492 documents? So that will happen on Thursday and Friday, where the prosecution, the defense, in front of the clerk of court, will compare documents. So hopefully, mas mabilis ang testimony of the witness. No?
Dadagdagan ko lang, para mas maunawaan ng mga kababayan natin. Ito yung parang bumili ka ng grocery. Nagpunta ka ng grocery at yung pinag-uusapan ngayon, yung resibo. Yun yung ebidensya na ito yung mga nabili mo sa grocery. So, ganoon din sila. So, binigyan sila ng pondo dahil ito ay pondo ng public fund o pondo ito ng taong bayan. So, ngayon, hinihingian sila ng resibo at yun naman yung acknowledgement receipt na mga nagaling din naman sa kanila dahil sabi nila, ito yung mga pinaggamitan o dito nila dinala yung pondo. Ngayon, tinatanggi na nila. Samantalang sa kanila rin galing yung mga acknowledgement receipt na yon. In fact, sinabi pa nga ng ating mahusay na abogado, ni Attorney Kapunan, willing na kami kung ano yung pinamarka ninyong ebidensya, yun na lang, wag na yung pinamarka namin. Kung gusto ninyo, para mas mapadali, kung ano yung pinamarka ninyo na ebidensya, di yun na lang din ang gagamitin namin na ebidensya, pero ayaw rin nila. So, ano ba talaga, kuya?
All right, thank you, Janesca. Now it's Kenneth.
Hello po. Next week, inaasahan na pong tumestigo sila Acosta at Fajarda. Ano po yung magiging testimony nila and where is the prosecution's case headed now given that they are now called to the stand by the prosecution team? pwede pong sa inyo.
Well, kanina minention because reminding ourselves na dapat ini-indicate ng prosecution kung sino mga witnesses next week. So among them, meron tayong continuation na Silene na nakita nyo kanina from the COA, ICFAO, and then merong tayong witness on the pareha, no, mga archives yan, kung ano yung mga dokumento na sinubmit sa House, no, pareha yan. At siguro mas simple ngayon kasi pinayagan na judicial notice. Hindi na kailangan i-prove na nangyari yung meeting, na ito yung transcript, na ito yung mga videos na pinakita sa meeting, etc. No? So, the Acosta and Fajarda are also subpoenaed witnesses. Acosta, as you know, is the head, is the SDO, no? Senior Disbursement Officer, is of the OVP. And si Fajarda is the SDO of the DepEd, no? And not to preempt, sila po ay ang ipipresenta, no? Because nakita naman natin sa mga land bank checks na pinakita ni Kong Joel Chua, sino yung mga accountable officers dyan, ano? At sila ang payee. Sila ang payee na tumanggap ng pera, no? Kanya, sinabi nga, as you notice sa questions ni Senator Amy, pinapakita niya, pinasabi niya, bakit bakit si Vice President? Si Vice President ang sinasabi niyo na accountable officer, malinaw sa circular na sinight niyo na ang SDO ng OVP ay si Acosta, yung isa naman, SDO ng DepEd. Sila dapat ang accountable, no? So, yun ang i-clarify natin next week. At may dadagdag pa ata si Kong Joel.
Well, dadagdagan ko lang yung sinabi ni Attorney Kapunan. Maganda yung kaninang tinanong ni Senator Risa Hontiveros. Based doon sa accounting rules, sino yung mga considered as accountable officer? At sinagot naman ng ating testigo kanina na yung head of agency, which in this case, sa OBP, ang Vice President, at doon sa DepEd, ang Secretary of Education. Now, ang karagdagan pa po na masasabi natin dyan, kung maalala ninyo, mga ipinresenta na mga proof ng liquidation report, so forth and so on, ang mga nakapirma po doon ay mismo yung head of agency at ginagarantiya niya na ang pondo ay maayos na ginamit. So, kaya hindi po pwedeng sabihin na wala po siyang accountability pagdating po dito sa confidential fund.
Alam mo, Kenneth, ang kasagutan sana doon sa katanungan ni Senator Amy Marcos ay yung naging testimonya ng dalawang land bank managers kung babalikan niya yung testimonya nila. Kasi 2 days prior to the encashment of the 104 checks for the OVP, in the last quarter of 2022, which covers December 21 to March 31, ay tinawagan na ang Land Bank Shaw Boulevard. Tinawagan na yung tumawag doon sa Land Bank Manager ay authorized na siya yung nagsasalita on behalf of the Vice President to inform them that Ms. Gina Acosta will be encashing this amount, these checks amounting to 35 million each check, 4 checks for 125 million pesos. So doon mismo, that conversation alone, proves and put the Vice President in the middle of the transaction because she was actually the one calling the shot. Siya ang nagsabi doon sa alam nung land bank manager na yon na representative ng Vice President stating the name Ms. Gina Acosta as the payee. Kasi nga, mabilisan eh. Dapat express lane eh. Andun na yung pangalan, 2 days kasi walang ganong kalaking pera ang land bank show. So they had to request from the national sa central office nila na magkaroon ng ganong klaseng buong pera. So doon yung kasagutan na yon. No? Unfair naman kung ang habulin lang ng COA is si Gina Acosta at saka si Mr. Fajarda na sila lang naman yung inutusan. At saka nandoon naman sa physical and financial plan, sa disbursement vouchers, sa accomplishment report, sa utilization report, during that cross-examination ng ating pinaka-masterclass na mga test ng kanyang pag-cross sa witness natin ngayon, nakapirma doon ay ang Vice President stating that she is in control at she is actually the one in charge of these funds. So unfair kung si Ms. Acosta at saka si Mr. Fajarda ang hahabulin ng COA. Kung yun man yung minimin ng ating butihing senadora.
And for my follow-up question po, para po kay Kong Zia, pero anyone from the panel could answer po. Sir, how big of a factor po how big of a factor is sustaining public attention when it comes to the prosecution's case? How big of a factor is public attention in the prosecution's case?
Well, unang-una, malaking bagay po talaga dahil with the advent of SOCMED, nakikita naman natin ngayon puro fake news. At saka, syempre, itong pinag-uusapan dito, pondo po ng taong bayan. So, dapat lamang na alam nila kung saan napupunta yung kanilang mga binabayad na buwis. Pangalawa, malaking bagay din na nagbabantay sila at nagmamatsyag dahil at the end of the day, alam naman po natin na yung mga fake news ay naglipa na ngayon. Ngayon, kung ito po ay mananatiling maglilipa na at hindi po tayo aware kung ano ang totoong nangyayari dito po sa hearing, baka mabudol po tayo. At hindi po natin talaga malaman kung ano talaga at kung saan napunta ang pondo.
Tsaka hindi naman po ito ginagawa ng prosecution dahil gusto nilang gawin. Ginagawa po ito ng prosecution dahil ito ang tamang gawin. Kasi ito yung sinasabi po sa batas at ito po yung sinasabi sa Constitution at para po sa kapakanan ng taong bayan, ng interest ng taong bayan dahil ang may pag-aari ng bawat opisina na halal na opisina ay pag-aari ng taong bayan. So ang nagkaroon ng betrayal of public trust is actually connected with betraying the trust that was given to her and the trust that was expected of her to deliver to the people by occupying the second highest official office in the land. So para po sa kanila itong interest ng taong bayan ang ginagawa po ng prosecution.
Idadagdag ko lang kasi ang gustong sabihin ng defense confidential yan, confidential funds. Kanya kailangan confidential rin ang information kung saan ginastos yan. Ay mali po 'yun. Ang ibig sabihin ng confidential funds hindi ka na accountable, no? At sinasabi nga nila grant yan ng president, no? This was granted by the President to the Office of the Vice President. At ang hindi naman ibig sabihin na porke nasa grant yan, ano, nasa budget yan, or nasa, hindi na mag-account. All the more na mag-account ka. Kasi talagang by that nature, alam mo na hindi naman pera mo yan, nanggaling yan sa budget, mag-account ka. So, it is wrong to say confidential and therefore hindi na kailangan malaman ng publiko kung saan ginamit ang funds na to. That is wrong.
Okay po. And follow-up lang po. Would such procedural snags as what happened earlier be detrimental when it comes to sustaining public attention? And how could it affect the prosecution's case if this trend continues po? Yung mga, for instance, stipulations na hindi tinatanggap ng defense. Thank you.
Well, hindi pwedeng iwasan yung mga number of documents, no. That's why nung tinanong ako sa end of the trial yesterday, no. Kasi parang nawawala na ng interest sa mga tao. Puro documents, puro stipulation, at nawawala na yung totoong storya. Kanya nung tinanong sa akin, well, I gave my opinion. Bakit importante ang mga documents na to, lalo na yung mga documents na in-evaluate at in-study ng COA, at ang COA ang nagsabing, ay, hindi pwede yan kasi irregular yan. No? Hindi lang masabi ng COA na, kasi sa batas, irregular, sa guidelines, irregular, extravagant. Punta na naman tayo sa irregular. Ano ba yung irregular? Ano ba yung extravagant? Ano ba yung, sabi ko nga, bongga kaday eh. Ano yung unconscionable? Wag na nating isipin yan. Sabihin na lang natin para maintindihan nyo yung ginawa ng Office of the Vice President at ng DepEd. Yung kumuha ng pera na hindi naman kanila, na public funds yan at hindi naman ginamit para sa activities na confidential in nature, ay sa aking palagay, scam. Scam talaga yan. Ngayon, kung hindi pa natin maintindihan ang scam, intindihan niyo na lang kung may binigyan ka ng pera at sinabi mo, bumili ka ng ganito, hindi naman binili, yung gusto mong pinabili, di ba? Di na-scam ka. Magkano yung scam na yan? 612.5 million ang kinuha pera sa taong bayan. Yon. So, to your question, sir, no, sabi mo, parang nabobore na kami, parang hindi na interested, ang dami-dami ng stipulation, ang daming judicial notice dyan, ang daming arguments sa mga lawyers. Ganun talaga yun kasi dapat talaga malinaw ang evidence at convincing. Kasi hindi lang naman pang-entertainment ito. Sabi nga nila, hindi naman pang-pamilya to, pang-sports, Hindi lang pang-sports to, pang-pamilya din. Pamilya, para sa pamilya talaga natin ito. Hindi ba? Hindi lang para ma-entertain tayo. The impeachment case is not a substitute for Netflix. Ha? Hindi ito pang-entertainment. Ito ay para sa atin.
All right. Joseph?
Joseph, can I address my questions to Attorney Kapunan? And this is in relation to the judicial notices, no? I'm trying to wrap my head around what this transpired kanina. So first, what was the intention of the prosecution when you wanted the court sana to take judicial notices of the hearings in the Quadcom and the House of Representatives? COJ.
In terms of legal procedure, judicial kasi nakalagay sa rules of court and the rules of court are applicable to the Senate impeachment proceedings. Ang judicial notice, ang ibig sabihin nun, wag mo nang i-prove. And this is where Kong Joel said earlier, it will just show na there were committee hearings conducted, that these committee hearings were recorded, na merong mga transcripts, na merong pinakita doon sa hearings na yan, ng mga dokumento, at nag-take note naman. May notes dyan on the committee. That's all it takes. But it does not mean na, sabi nga ng defense, that it will substitute, hindi na kailangan daw. Parang in-imply ng defense na it is an indirect way of the prosecution to dispense with having to prove their case, no, through judicial notice. Hindi po yun ang purpose, no. The purpose really is to shorten the proceedings. Kasi nangyari naman yun eh. Hindi naman nila madi-deny na nangyari yung hearings. At saka ilang hearings for how many hearings that is, no? Ano yung mga tinalakay doon? I'll turn over to Congressman Joel.
Well, kagaya nga po nung sinabi ni Attorney Kapunan, ang purpose talaga kaya kami nag-file ng judicial notice is para may mga bagay na hindi na kailangan ipatunayan na itong insidente ito o na itong hearing na to, nangyari ito. Ang purpose talaga nun is to shorten the hearing dito sa impeachment. So, kagaya ng ng marking of evidence, 'di ba? Talagang boring dahil isipin mo na naman kung lahat 'yan mamarkahan mo 4,000 dokumento. Kaya nga sinasabi ng impeachment court kanina, if we could set a schedule na hindi tatama doon sa hearing, nang sa ganon ay hindi mabore yung mga publiko at saka yung mga senator judges.
Just to continue, so in the proceedings in the HOR, COJ, and the Quadcom, there are certain evidence, no, quote unquote evidence that came out, which form part of your articles of impeachment. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So now, when the court takes judicial notice of a hearing and its accompanying sets of evidence, what happens to the value of the evidence that goes with admitting judicial noticing na may nga din ng hearing? What happens to the value?
No, for instance, your particular question on evidence.
Okay.
Okay, if we take judicial notice of the transcripts of what happened in that hearing, let's say it happened on a certain hearing date, and on that hearing date may dumating na testigo. Yung testigo nagdala ng dokumento. Now, what does judicial notice do? Judicial notice will dispense with, number one, hindi mo na kailangan patunayan na nagkaroon ng hearing. Yun. Hindi mo na kailangan patunayan na sa hearing na yun, yung secretary, kumuha ng minutes kung anong nangyari doon, transcripts. That's judicial notice. At sa hearing na yon ay may dumating na testigo, kunyari COA. At ang COA witness na yon ay nagdala ng mga dokumento. Yon. What is judicial notice? Judicial notice will just say that in that hearing, there was a witness that appeared. Hindi naman sinasabi na hindi na kailangan mag-testify dito sa Senado yung witness na dumating doon. Hindi naman effect ng judicial notice na hindi na ipapakita yung mga documents na dinala ng witnesses na yon sa impeachment court. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng judicial notice is the fact na, may dumating na witness, may dinalang dokumento. Yun lang. Ngayon, will you have to present the witness again? Yes. Will you have to present the documents again? Yes, because it is not an admission that ang sinabi ng witness doon ay totoo or hindi. It is not an admission na documents na nagkaroon ng graft and corruption ang presidente or it is not an admission na nagkaroon ng grave threats. It is just an admission or it is just a stipulation na may nangyaring ganon na meeting, present itong mga witnesses at itong mga dokumento. But present the witness here in the Senate. Present the documents here in the Senate. Hindi mo na kailangan i-prove. Ito, ang mga transcripts, 10 million pages ang isang meeting. They will still go over it. Kung hindi, kasi kanya-kanyang ginawa namin kanina sa stipulation ng mga acknowledgement receipts. Kung hindi, because hindi nag-stipulate, isa-isa tinignan ng witness. Ito yung acknowledgement receipts na yan. Ganyan din kung walang judicial notice sa mga transcripts ng House hearings ng congressman natin. Isa-isa nila pupuntahan yung mga pages ng hearing na yan.
Just to paraphrase your explanation, yung pong taking judicial notice does not grant a particular evidence automatic admissibility that the senator judges will have to weigh and consider in their decision, no?
Ganito lang po yan. Ang ibig sabihin ng judicial notice, that incident happened. But as to the substance, we still need to prove it. Yun lang.
So in that case, why would the defense would be a little bit iffy in the court taking judicial notice of?
Well, that is one way of prolonging the case. Di ba? So, siyempre, gusto nila lahat patunayan ninyo.
Or
Diba?
maybe, idadagdag ko lang, maybe just because they do not want or keep on insisting that the hearings is a mini trial, that's how they define it, and maybe to prove that they do not, apart from they do not recognize the hearings according to their own interpretation, gusto din nila the court will treat the hearings as if it never happened by not recognizing that such hearing and such discussion took place. So, ganun lang yun.
And anyway, just for the record, we now receive a copy of the official statement of the Honorable Supreme Court with respect to the case or cases filed by the Vice President with respect to the filing of the complaint with respect doon sa committee hearing sa Committee on Justice. Now, binasura na po ito ng Korte Suprema at sinasabi ng Korte Suprema na moot and academic na dahil yung kaso ay nandirito na sa Senado. Tapos na yung proseso kung saan yung House ay ito ay didinggin. So ngayon, ang usapin ay nandirito na sa Senado. Kaya wala nang issue sa jurisdiction.
Ma'am Milky?
Magandang hapon po. Milky Rigonaf, DCRH. Tatlong araw po yung impeachment trial regarding confidential funds. And based on the analysis review, it's Attorney Lorna Capunan's masterclass. Reaction, please. It's Attorney Lorna Capunan's masterclass based on the mga reaction and feedback.
No, thank you for being kind. Hindi naman masterclass yan. Ang feeling ko lang, after several years, kasi I'm probably doubled, lalong-lalo na yung lawyer kanina, no? I'm probably old enough.
Magandang hapon po. Milky Rigonaf, DCRH. Tatlong araw po yung impeachment trial regarding confidential funds. And based on the analysis review, it's Attorney Lorna Capunan's masterclass. Reaction, please. It's Attorney Lorna Capunan's masterclass based on the mga reaction and feedback.
No, thank you for being kind. Hindi naman masterclass yan. Ang feeling ko lang, after several years, kasi I'm probably doubled, lalong-lalo na yung lawyer kanina, no? I'm probably old enough to be her grandmother. Di ba? So, sana gusto ko nga pagbigyan. Kasi, syempre, first time niya mag-appear. Kanya yung inargue niya na hindi sila nag-file down ng pleading para ng comment dito sa judicial notice. Pero, mag-argue na lang sila. Ang ginargue naman, binasa naman yung pleading. Sana final na lang niya, no? But I understand that. For instance, pag ganyan, alam mo na kung matagal ka na sa practice, walang nakikinig sa ganyan. And as you can see, it would have been better for her to have just filed the pleading. In any event, it's not a master class. It's just that sanay na tayo eh. It is experience. But again, I will always say, even with 48 years of experience, there is no substitute for preparation. Kung makita nyo lang kung gaano mag-prepare ang public tsaka private prosecutors, buti na lang, binibigyan kami ng pagkain, ano? Breakfast, noon, and night, no? Kasi kami naman, volunteer. That is actual preparation. Si Kong Joel nga, kasama niyang matulog yung rules of court niya. Ayan, ganun yung rules of court, no? Kasama, pag tinanong mo siya ngayon, Kong Joel, ano ba yung Rule 130 on admissibility? Aba, sasabihin niya sa inyo. Kasi minemorize niya yan. That is why it comes. It comes naturally. It comes with this level of confidence. Hindi uwido to. Hindi tayo nag-uuwido. Nag-aaral tayo at ini-evaluate rin natin kung paano i-present ang evidence. Lalong-lalo na voluminous documents. My own standard is myself. I am the judge of myself. If I am there in the audience and I am bored, that means I'm not doing it right. I am my own judge. Kunyari, kung ganitong argument, kung mabobore ako. So that is my guideline. At saka pag nakita ko itong mga katabi ko na nagsi-cellphone na ganyan. Pag makita mo yung mga senator judges na kunyari nakikinig na ganyan pero nagsi-cellphone na ganyan, ay change gear ka na. Mag-corrective ka na. Mag-corrective measures ka na. That means you're not interesting, you're not communicating, or it is too long. As I said when I made my first manifestation, I said, know two things. Know when to present and not to present. Paikliin ang presentation and know when to stop. Yun. Some of us don't know when to stop. And I will not name these senator judges.
Sir, sa side ng prosecution, assessment po kay Attorney Lorna Capunan, Kong Zia and Kong Joel. Maraming salamat po.
Ako, I'm very fortunate to have worked with legal luminaries like Attorney Capunan. Dati pinanonood ko lang to sa TV. Nung naka-short pants ako, Lorna Capunan na to eh. Diba? So,
Excuse me, bumusina kayo. Ilang taong ka nun?
ibig sabihin, siyempre marami kang matututunan. So kaya naman ganun din yung mga nagiging performance namin is because din sa kanila. They're giving us tips. Yun nga, sabi ko nga, iilan na lang ngayon talagang mga sikat na abogado eh. So swerte ako na nakasama ko ang isang Lorna Capunan. Tsaka nakita niyo naman, di ba? Siya lang ang nakakagawa ng mga pinagagawa niya doon. Wala may kayang gumawa sa amin noon.
Well, inspiration naman talaga si Tita Lorna. Tama nga, sorry Tita Lorna, talagang pinapanood kita nung dati na Tapos having you here, seated beside Attorney Lorna Capunan is in itself an honor, no? She's an inspiration. But beyond that, I think the public's reception doon sa pag-present ni Attorney Capunan reflects hindi lang yung trabaho niya, but her commitment to deliver and to pursue what is good for the country. Kasi maski gaano ka kagaling na abogado, but if you don't really believe in what you do, hindi yon automatically maiintindihan at ma-identify ng taong bayan sa'yo. Secondly, yung pinaglalaban ni kanina, sinabi ko, ang prosecution, hindi naman talaga ito nila gusto. Pero alam nila ito ang tamang gawin. So, yung sinasabi nilang masterclass, tama naman, masterclass, humble lang si Tita Lorna, ayaw lang niya i-admit. Pero, nangangahulugan talaga nito na yung na-identify ng taong bayan kung ano yung pinaglalaban ng prosecution, ay ito yung katotohanan. That's the most important message coming from the public's reception kasi yung trabaho na ginagawa in the way Attorney Capunan presented the witnesses reflects not only her skills and her experience in law profession but her commitment for the cause of public good. Her commitment to really promote accountability and transparency. And it's just been known for the longest time doon sa ganong klaseng advocacy. That's why she is an inspiration to many of us. At pangalawa, I think the public wants to continuously give in to her temptations. Yun po ang gusto ng publiko.
Sandali, This is beginning to sound like a eulogy. Buhay pa ho ako. Buhay pa. So, and in any event, the good thing about presenting it, present, presenting it in a, the good thing about presenting it in a manner, or studying how to present it in a manner is, you engage the public. Alam mo, katakot-takot, nag-detect sa akin na nagsasabing, Attorney, sabihin niyo nga na itong kasamang pangalan na ito, Gina Hasa. Oh, kasama tong pangalan na ito. Ano pang mga, Maluwang. Di ba? Ang daming mga nagvo-volunteer. What does it mean? That means that they're listening. That means that naiintindihan nila na lokohan ito. Na one day, meron pa kaming bukas, sasabihin ko sa'yo, meron pa kaming listahan, parang fruit salad. Kasi ang mga pangalan, may keso, may mangga, may ganyan. Parang yung nag-isip ng pangalan, nakaupo sa table niya ng lunchtime, ang pagkain niya ay fruit salad. So, nung sinabi siya, nako, may 15-day deadline kami para mag-submit ng mga, kasi 15-day deadline ang binigay ng COA. Meron kaming 15-day deadline na mag-submit ng mga dokumento, acknowledgement receipts. Teka nga, okay. Aba, masarap itong mangga. O, makasarap itong keso. Aba, so may pangalang keso ang apelyido. Meron ding mangga. Ay, meron, kanya, pag nakita nyo, isang set ng parang pang fruit salad. Yung piatos naman, siguro dumaan ng mall, siningit niya. Siningit niya yung, imbis na nasa opisina, nanood ng sine, bumili ng Mary Grace piatos para ibaon sa sinehan. Hinahanap siya ngayon ng opisina niya, mag-produce siya ng listahan. Anong ginawa niya? Mary Grace piatos. Ay, kulang pa. Mary Grace piatos. Tapos, 3 piatos ata yun eh. Di ba? Yun. No, I'm just dramatizing that this is the way the public, ganito ang iniisip ng publiko. And that's why it means na effective ang message ng prosecution. Kung ganyan, kalokohan ng mga pangalan, wag na nating sabihin alias. Kasi sasabihin nila, mga mayayabang ang mga lawyers, sasabihin nila, it can be argued that aliases are allowed under the guidelines. Oy, teka, hindi naman alias ito. Ito ay pwedeng alias, no? But these really are fictional names. Magugulat ng mga senador pag nakita nila yung mga pangalan nila dyan. Kanya excited ako mag-present. Merong nga isang Joel Chua doon, hindi lang niya alam. Papakita rin namin yon. Parang Joel. Meron talaga Joel. Yung sa'yo, mahirap kasi spelling yung sa'yo. Sabi nila.
Ma'am, total na-mention nyo na rin po yung sa senator judge na hindi marunong huminto. Meron isang senator judge, sabihin ko na si Senator Judge Amy Marcos. Kasi parang napagalitan nga yung si Attorney Wamil for arguing with Senator Amy. Kasi ini-insist ni Senator Judge Amy na yung confidential funds ay nabigay din kay VP Binay, when in fact ang sinabi po ni Attorney Wamil was in-audit lang. Hindi niya sinabing walang nabigay kay VP Binay. Tapos yung ini-insist niya rin na ni Senator Amy na hindi si VP Sara yung accountable officer kung hindi si Acosta nga saka si Fajarda. Yung ganito po bang line of questioning, does it blur yung line between cold neutrality and already lawyering for the respondent?
Ako na lang, no? Unang-una, sabi ko nga kanina, kasi this is in relation to the question earlier. I think the question of Senator Judge Amy, with all due respect to her, kasi mayroon naman po talaga siyang opinion at mayroon naman po siyang karapatan paano bumuo ng opinion based doon sa kanyang approach sa mga ebidensya at mga testimony ng witnesses, being a senator judge. But again, yung question kasi niya kay Mr. Wamil is yung accountability of officers, since Miss Gina Acosta was the one whose name was reflected in the checks, and Mr. Fajarda, the same case on the part of DepEd, dapat, without even saying it, parang ang interpretation natin is sila dapat yung accountable officers. Pero very clear naman din sa joint circular, no? It's the SDOs and the principal. Ibig sabihin kung sino yung head ng agency, the head of office, no? Pangalawa, yung sinabi ko po dun sa testimonya ng dalawang witnesses natin, yung dalawang lang bank managers, they were actually called and they were told 2 days or a day prior to the encashment of these checks under the name of Mr. Fajarda and Miss Gina Acosta na sila yung ipapadala. Miss Gina Acosta on the part of the OVP and Mr. Fajarda on the part of the Department of Education. That alone indicates that they are acting based on the orders of their principal. In this case, the office of the Vice President's head is headed by the Vice President, and on the side of the Department of Education, again, also part of her portfolio as a Secretary of Department of Education. So, klaro na po yun. Actually, it was not refuted. It was not even cross-examined ng defense. So, it was established na talagang inutusan sila, no? Itong dalawang SDOs. And sabi nga ni Congressman Joel, they're actually basing their mandate on yung sinasabi ng nung in terms of auditing process, yung lahat ng pinirmahan doon sa dokumento from the physical and financial plan up to the accomplishment reports at na-establish na yan. Hindi na na-refute na ang nakapirma doon ang Vice President acting as a Secretary of Defense and at the same time, Secretary of Education, thank you Joseph dun sa sa reaction mo. And as an Office of the Vice President. So klaro po 'yon. So ano yung iniisip po ng ating Senator Judge Marcos? Again, we respect her position on this, kung ano po yung opinion niya regarding this. Pero I think the fact remains na ang head ng OVP ay si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ang Secretary of Education at that time ay si Vice President Sara Duterte. And no SDO can ever, no SDOs can ever assume yung responsibility and obligation of the head of the agency insofar as request of the confidential funds, how it will be implemented, and how it would be audited, how it will be supported by attachments and other documentary evidence proving that the utilization is done within the criteria and enumerated parameters of the joint circular.
Yung question ko more is of dun sa line of questioning, the manner how it was raised, and yung siguro ganito na lang sir, do you approve of the style kung saan parang halos hindi makasagot kasi she was trying to clarify matters but halos hindi makasagot si Attorney Wamil. What do you think of, what do you make out of it?
Well, lahat ng senator judges may kanya-kanyang silang strategiya, no? Nirerespeto natin yung kanilang way of appreciating the facts, no? Although mas maganda sana na as a senator judge, which basically under the rules at in-expect po ng both panels ay maging impartial because the way you can actually exercise your role as a judge is to have an open mind, meaning to say your questions would, the intention of these questions would reinforces or would even supply information na hindi mo masyadong na-appreciate. Kung ganun yung premise ng tanong mo para at least malinawan ka ng maayos, yun ang actually in-expect be from an impartial judge, no? I'm not saying that we don't want any of the judges to approach this case kung paano nila gawin o paano sila magtanong. What we're saying is that sana kung halimbawang may mga katanungan sa mga witnesses ay mas maganda na para din sa kanila for the benefit of the sitting judges and for everyone na matuloy yung sasagot ng mga witnesses whether ito ba ay whether ito ba ay gustong marinig o ito ba yung gustong marinig na kasagutan, no? So, yun lang po. Again, we respect the position of any senator, judge for that matter, no, on how they approach this case, no, by way of questioning our witnesses.
Sir, Congressman Chua, sir, elaboration lang on the Supreme Court ruling, no? Does it speak on the legality of the procedures in the House? Kasi yung petition talks about questions on the date of initiation, procedure, yung sa from committee to whatever. So does it speak on the legality? Ibig sabihin, does it legalize the proceedings in the House that produced the articles of impeachment that we're tackling now?
Well, ito yung important solution na salient
points, okay.
na nakalagay po dito. The Supreme Court ruled that the issues raised on the petition had become moot and academic or no longer required resolution. Teka, pasensya na medyo hindi ko mabasa. Hindi ko na mabasa eh. Because the House had already approved and transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate. So, yan ang parang hindi ko na...
for the Supreme Court, diba? To say na andito na, so wag na lang. Pero, to your assessment, evaluation, does it give you the imprimatur? Does it give you the moral grounding now?
Yeah, yung mga issue na sinasabi nila, as to the jurisdiction, mini trial, so forth and so on, although hindi naman diniscuss. Kasi ito namang nakalagay dito, hindi pa natin nababasa kung ano yung talagang pinakalaman eh. Ito parang ano lang eh, maliit lang na parang announcement lang eh. 'Di ba? So, hindi naman natin masasabi kung ano talaga yung pinaka naging laman. 'Di ba? So, but as we speak, etong sinasabi nila dito, wala nang saysay na pag-usapan pa o i-discuss o talakayin pa yon dahil yung articles of impeachment wala na nga sa House, nandirito na sa Senado.
Sir, just a quick follow-up on the question of Kuya Joseph po. Gaano po ito kahalaga sa inyo? Dahil kung matatandaan naman po natin, nung unang beses na challenge ng kampo ni VP Sara yung impeachment case noong 19th Congress ay bumabor po sa kanila yung Korte Suprema. Ngayon po na may mga petisyon ulit na kukomestyon doon sa impeachment proceedings or impeachment complaints laban sa kanya, pumabor po sa Kamara or sa prosecution yung decision. So gaano po ito kahalaga sa inyo?
Well, napakahalaga. Dahil unang-una, at least, makakahinga na tayo na magtutuloy-tuloy na to at wala na magiging sagabal dito sa impeachment na ginagawa ngayon dito sa Senado. At least hindi na tayo kakaba-kaba na baka mamaya bukas makalawa ay patitigilin tayo dahil sasabihin nila ay may Supreme Court decision at sinasabi unconstitutional. Pero ngayon, wala nang ganyan, so wala nang dahilan para pagdudahan pa natin itong nangyayari ngayon na impeachment hearing at tuloy-tuloy na yung presentation ng prosecution.
On that note, muli po, pasalamatan natin ang ating mga panel of guests ngayon, si Congressman Adyong, si Attorney Kapunan, at si Congressman Joel Chua. Nabanggit nga niya, wala nang balakid sa pagpapatuloy ng impeachment trial, kaya patuloy po nating subaybayan sa pagpapatuloy sa susunod na linggo. Maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat.